Medusa, take 2. Let's do this. Welcome everyone to this little draw and talk / sketching session. Today I'm going to be drawing a Medusa statue, and I'm going to be starting out with pencils, and later on I'm going to put some ink in to refine the sketch even more. And while I'm doing this, I want to talk about why daily sketching is so important for your progress in art. And this is not limited to art. You can actually apply this to every field you want to thrive in, be it learning a new language or learning how to play the guitar or any other instrument, or even for your college studies. And now the first big reason for daily sketching is really simply habit formation. You want to make a habit out of drawing or any other skill. Now, what is a habit? A habit is a long-standing pattern of learned behavior. Sadly, it takes very long to adapt it, so you have to deliberately push through the first 2 or 3 weeks, maybe the first month of doing it to create this habit. But it's very efficient in the end, because once you have created this habit, you don't have to deliberately decide to do the activity. You just do it out of an internal drive. And if you want to create a habit, what really helps is to connect it with a trigger and a reward after it. Now, the trigger can be basically everything. For me, it's a piece of paper on my desk with a pen lying next to it, so that once I see this paper in my head, I'm like, oh yes, I wanted to draw today. And the reward can also be anything you want. It can be a piece of chocolate every time you finish a sketch. It can be, if you're into that, some sport after that to get your body moving. Really everything. Now, what really helps is that you transform your environment to match the activity you want to do or you want to learn. For me, that meant creating a shelf where all my creative materials just lie about openly, so that I have really easy access to every one of them, and a lot of desk space where I can work on. The habit of drawing for me really gives me the feeling of moving towards my goal, which is like becoming an artist or creative kind of type. And it's really fun and engaging in and of itself. So I'm really blessed with this habit because it rewards itself, basically. Now, the second reason is really connected to the first one, the habit one, because it is to put in the hours. Now, I think everyone knows that repetition makes pro in basically every field, and in my opinion, time is the most important factor in success. You have talent, but it's not that important. When you start out with a new thing, habit is actually important because it helps you get into the field easily. But in the more advanced area, pro area, people without talent but who put in the time and the effort outperform people who started out with a lot of talent and maybe didn't put as much time in. Now, this is, I think, because if you don't have the talent, you have to learn the basics better. You have to really dive in deep to understand how everything works, and this understanding will help you later on. About the time you should invest, I think it's better to have a short daily practice than to practice 1 or 2 hour-long sessions once or twice a week, because practicing daily really gives you this habit-like character, and you really get used to sitting down for 20 minutes and drawing just something, just doing it on this page. Plus it stockpiles up to a lot of time, and 20 minutes a day is not that much on each individual day, because we have like 24 hours and 20 minutes out of it is not much. But in the end, when you have like 7 days, it's already 2 hours and 20 minutes, and so it stockpiles up to a lot of time. Now the third reason is more art specific, but I think you can transform it for other areas too, is that sketches really focus on one specific problem and the rest doesn't have to be perfect. So you can train one thing and dive really deep into it, like into anatomy or into the structure of clothes, and it gives the freedom that the rest of the piece doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to focus on the details, and this allows you to use the time you put in really more efficiently. You don't obsess with the details, you can focus on one thing, and once you start a final piece, a big piece, all these little sketches you've done in the different areas of the painting, like color studies, anatomy studies, clothes studies, they all play into the making of this really big artwork. And since you've already practiced and perfected those things, you don't have to focus on perfecting those while you're drawing, but you can focus on how you want to create the piece, how you want it to look, and already have the techniques right. So those are my reasons why daily sketching is really important. I know it's hard, I try to get into it more, but I think it works. My sketch is really coming to an end here too. It was more for fun than to practice anything specific actually, but it turned out great. I've had a bit of anatomy practice in it, and the snakes was the first time I was drawing snakes. Yeah, my time's up, so thank you for listening and see you in the next video. Bye bye.